So we're about to hit this tide line. We're doing 8 knots. We're doing 8 knots over ground and 5 knots through the water. So I have no idea what's going to happen once we hit this. Look at this.
So the water has gone from blue back there to brown. I think it's the Amazon spilling out. It's really cool.
Dude, you should fly the drone. This is crazy. And it's rough. I wonder if we're going faster. I don't feel like we are. I feel like we've just slowed down.
So that is the North Atlantic, and right over there we got the Amazon River, and they're joining up right here next to us. And it's pretty incredible to see how these two bodies of water mix. You'd think that they would mix gradually over a certain area, but no, it's probably a bit of fresh water, or a lot of fresh water mixing with salt water. There's some current and tidal issues in there, so it's all one solid line. We're gonna try and work our way back into the North Atlantic and get away from the coastline of Brazil. We're only 100 miles off the coast of Brazil right now, and we already saw a little fishing boat. We're not a big fan of little fishing boats here out at sea. Often they're unlit. Most of the time they don't have AIS, so it causes a lot of, I'm looking over my shoulder, I thought I saw one. It causes a lot of drama and work at night sometimes, trying to figure out where they are, which way they're going, what they are, did they have nets out, and so on and so forth. So we're working our way back out. Don't know which way the line is going anymore, but I'm hoping it curves back around to leeward a little bit so we can pop out on the windward side of it. Here's the definitive proof that we're in freshwater now. I'm just running the water maker, and we always test it with this parts per million TDM meter? TDS, total dissolved solids meter, because when we put water in our freshwater tank, we also drink from it, so it has to be good water, otherwise we're jeopardizing our drinking water as well. So it's we're at about 380 parts per million. Usually we're at like just over 400, 450, just under 500 parts per million in salt water. So we're definitely in fresh water now. So confirmed, Amazonian fresh water and it's coming into the tanks. We actually Googled what acceptable parts per million is, and in United States they say the Aboriginals, really weird why this is, I don't know why they say the Aboriginals, but their Aboriginals, the maximum parts per million for their drinking water supply is 500. So ours are at 450 to 500, although that's acceptable for a reverse osmosis like a water maker, but
Borderline.
it's borderline. So we're just doing our nightly run with the kids. They run around the front of the boat, and we spotted something. It's pretty big looking. It's probably just some garbage, but it's very odd. This block might have a bird sitting on top of it. Maybe it's ambergris. Do you think it's ambergris? It's right. Where is it?
Right there.
Right there. So I've been looking for ambergris for years. Ambergris is whale vomit, sperm whale vomit from their bile duct, which is used in the perfume industry, and it's worth a lot of money, like sometimes up to millions of dollars. This is sitting a bit too high out of the water. Ambergris is kind of rounded. It looks like It looks like garbage often. And I've actually looked up the maps of the sperm whale concentrations, and there's been a lot. There's actually quite a few in the northern Atlantic, and there's quite a few in the western Indian Ocean. Yeah, this looks like styrofoam though.
It's a booby. Is it a booby? A booby bird? Watch out, there's often rope off these things.
Oh yeah, it is a bird.
It is, it's a booby bird. Hi, booby. Technically, he's found himself a boat and he's floating on the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cheater.
Peter.
That was exciting. It's the little things out here when you're becalmed. Are we gonna make it, Ben? This is the big debate we've been having for the last 3 days. We have 2 days of fuel and 3 days of motoring a day ago. So now we are going so damn slow that we still have 2.5 days of motoring. Whoops. You okay, buddy?
Okay.
Okay. There's the bird, guys. He's probably gonna come and hitch a ride on our boat now. Oh, he is too. Do you think he's gonna come sit on Nahoa? What I miss about land life is the convenience, honestly. The convenience of having a car, the convenience of being in a place for a long time so that you build sort of like roots in that community. And that's something that takes time, and we generally don't stay in a place long enough to build those roots and, you know, join those clubs and find that best yoga studio or whatever it might be. So those are some of the things that I miss about land life for sure. And I think I'll always miss that. There's so much good that comes from sailing and living on the boat, but there are some things that you have to then miss out on. Sailing around the world, has it changed us? Has it changed me? I think so. I think that these are experiences that you can never take away from a person, and I think about spending time with that family that we did in Vanuatu, and so many experiences come to mind, and those things are with you in your heart forever, and you will never ever forget them, and the people that you've met you'll never be able to forget. And it has absolutely changed us. Like, I can't imagine now not being able to just kind of hop in my boat and go someplace new when I feel like going on another adventure. And I mean, you can do it on land, it's different. I think the sea is where we're home, and I love the ocean. I love living on the ocean. I love the ocean life. I love the ocean lifestyle. The creatures, the fish, the birds, the everything. And raising our kids now on the boat is something that I can't imagine not doing. I just think it's brilliant for them. They thrive out here. We thrive out here. It's hard. It's super great to take breaks, and I value those breaks so much when we get to go home and visit family. But ultimately, I think my heart is on the sea, and I think Ben's the same way. So we're very, very lucky that we share the same passion.
All right, so we have a little bit of a situation here. It's 4 a.m. I have a very lit up, I think it's a fishing boat behind us. And I've changed course multiple times, and he keeps changing course as well. This has been going on for, let me see here, 45 minutes. So that's us right there, and there's just nothing else around, you know. There's no other boats. Got a paper over this to keep the light down, but we got a squall coming in right here, and I've marked him as a target right there. And I seem to be pulling away from him, which is good. He was at 5 nautical miles away, and then he increased to 3 nautical miles away, which is a little close for comfort at night. Now he is 4 nautical miles away, following my previous course, which was headed off in that direction, and I'm right now headed straight up. So yeah, he keeps changing course when we change course, so it's very odd. You know, you grow wise to these things after sailing around the world. In the Malacca Straits, Malaysia, for example, sometimes they would throw their nets, lay their nets down right in front of you as you're, you know, motoring or sailing along, and the end result would be that you would damage their nets, and then they would want you to pay for them. So it's just obviously you'd pay for them way more than what they were worth, was the idea. But yeah, this is just maybe one of those games. I'm not exactly sure. It's definitely a fishing boat, huge, you know, floodlights off the back, and then a bridge deck up front. So what I've done is I've turned off my navigation lights. I've turned off all interior lights except for this flashlight that's lighting up me right now. And I've turned off my AIS and changed course. So now he seems to be going along my previous AIS course. And hopefully I'll be able to get away from him. I've also turned on both engines to kind of bump up my speed by a few knots to gain some distance. So I see him on radar, I see him visually, but he hopefully can't see me. The hope is he doesn't have radar. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. So I don't know what happened last night. Possibly nothing at all. He was just trawling, maybe he's doing some zigzags, and I've gone my merry way, he's gone his merry way, and it's daylight now. Everything's always a little bit easier during the day, but you do sometimes wonder, as international waters, it's, you know, basically a lawless area, and you have to watch out for yourself and your family, so that's what we always put first. Okay, it's time to wake up our youngest crew member. He goes by Bodhi. Ding! Good morning. Hey! Okay, let's get you out of there. Sheep sack off.
We buy the sheep cat. We buy the sheep cat.
I don't know.
Someone buy it?
Yeah.
Well,
It is our last day at sea. Tomorrow we're gonna arrive. I can't believe it. 2 days earlier than I expected. And I have like no food left. So let's see if we can pull off a smoothie.
It's gonna be so yum.
Oh dear. It's not looking good. We got eggs.
Yeah.
1 lemon, 1 pepper, 1 orange, 1 piece of ginger, 1 other orange. What's that?
Yeah.
We definitely have some onions left, lots of onions.
Is this a green orange?
Some yucky apples. Oh, over here I've got 1 pear and 2 tomatoes. Oh, 3 tomatoes. Wow. That one's still a little green. It's weird, they never ripened. Still got my squash. A leek. That doesn't look very good. And some more apples. It will be a good smoothie because it will be cold. And that will be about the extent of the smoothie. So let's give it a go, guys. I find the old yucky apples and we put those in the smoothie. The texture doesn't matter. Normally I don't peel them, but these ones are from Cape Town. They're 6 or 7 weeks old and they went a little bit soft, so they're a bit funky, the skins. Yeah, sometimes I throw some mint in, which we'll do today. That's so good. And that's it. So let's get to this. Banana, we gotta get the banana. Then we're gonna put some ice cubes in it. Okay, let's do it and then we'll mix it up, right?
Yeah.
Cheers, Bodhi. Cheers, Dad. Dad looks tired.
Thank you, Mama.
Here, let me see your face. Here, look at Mama. Feels good, doesn't it, buddy? Sometimes the easiest way to clean a toddler is to hose them off, especially when it's like hot out and then you got to stop them from going inside all over your cushions. But
we are officially in the doldrums and I'm having trouble flying the spinnaker. I think part of it is because of these lines. So I have two lines attached on the windward side. I've already dropped the downhaul on the leeward side. So I think the lines are actually weighing the spinnaker down a bunch. What I'm going to try and do, I just had a thought, I don't know if this will work, but it's just reduce the weight on the bottom end of the spinnaker with some much lighter lines. These I bought for holding up our sunshade up front. I don't know, it might work. I don't think they'll break. I mean, we're talking like 5 knots we got here, 5-8 knots, so it should be okay. Let's give it a try. Hold on. Alright, I put this line on that downhaul. You can't even see it so small. There it is. We still have the original one of that. And then we got this sheet over here. That's the heavy one too. There's a little rain cloud that's come up behind us, so we've had a little puff of wind. So we're doing okay, but I think it's working. Every little bit to conserve fuel, man. I don't know if we'll have enough fuel if we have to motor the rest of the way.
I said he's using my laundry line. But yeah, I think so.
It's working.
Yep.
It's one of those days today. Squall after squall. They're not big, just little rain squalls. Spinnaker's soaked though, so it's not flying so well. It's trying to sort itself out. Might need some help. This guy. A bit of rain in all of them. It's so hot during the day now. I think it's about 32 to 34 C. That I pulled out the pool for the kids, not for the adults. Although maybe the adults will go in it too. Some people, we know sailors that would just drift in the tropics like this. Not us. We're not those kind of sailors. Life's too short. I'm gonna burn a little bit of diesel here. This, I probably shouldn't tap that.
No?
This canister we bought in Panama, almost back. Tropy gas. And it's a big aluminum cylinder that we fill when we get to, civilization. And we got these small canisters that fit into our propane locker. And we sometimes have to decant from the big canister to the little canisters. So we just don't carry enough propane on the little canister. But yeah, this guy lives up in the anchor locker, which is vented, and these guys live in the back locker, which is vented. So decanting is pretty easy. I'm not going to tell you how because I'll be liable, but there's a way, and there's ways to do it online. Google it yourself. Don't do it.
It's like you show up in a place and you have to go buy a tank. So what you have to do is you go buy the tank with the new fitting. Then you go to the hardware store and you buy the fitting that you need, and then you create your little system, which we're not going to tell you how to do. And then you can go to town and decant.
First time we did it was in French Polynesia in, I think it was Bora Bora. And then, before we set sail, before we were still in the United States, there's people like manufacturing like octos, which were like 8 things coming off of one regulator so they could attach every possible tank in every country. But the fact is, if you take your tank to like a country that's not the United States or Canada or Europe, Europe's not a country by the way, but anyway, it's a civilized country, they will have adapters to fill your tank, and they're not afraid to, because they do it all the time. It's where they have less regulations where they're able to do this. Don't try and take your Panama tank to the United States and try and get it filled, or Canada or Europe, but you can't do it around the rest of the world.
And it's funny because this tank doesn't have a safety valve, right?
Yeah, like some tanks, like this one, doesn't have a safety valve.
And that's illegal in the States.
And that's illegal in the States and Canada, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you have to make your own decanting hose anyways. So. Anyways, yeah. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Other cruisers will be doing it too. It's quite common. You can usually borrow the decanting hose from another cruiser who's been out here a while.
It's just a way of life out here. It's part of life. When you're sailing around the world, the fittings for propane are different. Propane, butane, sometimes it's a mix of both, are different all over the world. And yeah, cooking gas is what they call it most places. And the first time you do it, you will be nervous. I'm just putting that out there. It will make you nervous the first time you do it. And then all of a sudden, you don't care anymore.
I just want to give a little thank you to all of our patrons as we are finishing this circumnavigation. You know, this would have never been possible without their support. And I also have to mention what we have planned for the future, because without the patrons that we have so far, we wouldn't have gotten as far as we've gotten. And where we want to go is a whole nother level. Which is obviously the Nahoa 55 and more high latitude cruising. So showing you places like the Arctic, the Northwest Passage, Patagonia, those kind of places, if you're able to afford it, if you're able to have a little bit of extra and pay for these videos, which are obviously free on YouTube, we would love your support on Patreon. Link is in the description down below. For now, we'll keep sailing across the Atlantic here and keep our eye on the future, because it's looking pretty bright, I think.
Lima. Tug Cindy, taking on water and sinking with 4 persons on board in position latitude 10 degrees, 10.13 minutes north, longitude 062 degrees, 10.99 minutes west. Request immediate assistance. Over.
Oh wow, that's Tobago Coast Guard, and they're doing a Mayday relay. A Mayday relay is when they have received a Mayday, and we haven't heard that thing, and then they do a broadcast to their circle of VHFs that they can reach, because they have more powerful antennas. So I'll plot this on our map and see how far away they are and see if we can assist. This is the worst kind of call you can receive on a VHF. They're right there, which is right off the coast of Venezuela. Serious pirate activity there. We are off the north coast of Trinidad, right up here, right beside that green tanker, and we're headed to Grenada. So unfortunately, that would take us a day to get there. It's a long ways away. So I don't think we'll be able to help in this case. That's pretty sad though. Close to land though. They're close to land.
And then let's look this direction. Rain, 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 rain. More rain. Civilization, here we are. Although it's the Caribbean, so it's
pretty civilized here. There's chandleries here. It's pretty incredible.
yeah.
What's been the hardest part, Ashley?
So I think the hardest part about sailing around the world is there's a few things that resonate with me. One is leaving all your friends and family behind. To my 2 friends I have left, we love you, but we make new friends. We've made so many new friends, that really isn't the thing. Family's a tough one, sort of up and down. It's hard to be away from family. You love them dearly. But I think sometimes the sleep deprivation can get you, sometimes the loneliness can get you, sometimes you just go through the roller coasters of life and you have ups and downs, and it doesn't matter if you're on a sailboat or on land, and if you're on a boat, sometimes it's just a little more isolating. But I think this has been the most amazing 8 years of my life living on Nahoa, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world. And guess what? We're not changing it. So what was the hardest part about sailing around the world for you?
Definitely the boat breakdowns, the refits, the rotten bridge deck in the Seychelles. And then obviously building up YouTube and believing that, you know, people actually want to watch this crap. Our boring lives. And believing that, you know, we can build this, and, you know, that's, yeah, a lot of self-doubt there that creeps up from time to time still, I think, you know. Is this video good enough then? Is this even, you know, worthy to be go public, and, you know, those kind of things. So, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. And but some of the passages definitely gave me some concerns, like sailing down to the tip of Madagascar. That was pretty rough, especially right after we fixed the bridge deck. You know, bit of nerves there. But other than that, I don't think I had too many concerns in terms of the weather and the sailing. I mean, going down to New Zealand was definitely tough, but yeah, the sailing was definitely the easy part, I'd say. Pulled out 2 photos today from the start of our circumnavigation, well, a year into our circumnavigation when we left Grenada, because we had a year beforehand in the Bahamas. And now, and you look at our smiles on our faces, and I'd say our smiles are much bigger than they were when we left, which is incredible, you know.
We have a lot more wrinkles.
More wrinkles, more wisdom, a lot more tired these days, but, you know, that's all part of life. And
yeah, it's crazy. We were talking about, Ben and I were just having a conversation yesterday about how when we started and how little we actually knew. We knew nothing. We knew nothing. We knew nothing about what we needed for power consumption and water. And it's like the amount of knowledge that you get from just being out here and sailing is incredible.
it's been a steep learning curve, that's for sure. There's Grenada, there's the sun.
I guess I never had any doubts that we would do this, but there's been times where we wondered how we would do it. And here we are. And it's surreal. It really is surreal. It almost doesn't feel like we're back. Like, I guess I feel a huge sense of accomplishment. Like, holy shit, we did it. That's awesome. It's so awesome. It's so awesome that the kids are in tow now and that we're still doing it with the kids. And don't get me wrong, it's way the hell different. You guys should go back and watch our first video from Grenada. And I watched it last night and I was like, oh, don't think we'll be able to do all those things. What do you think, Ben?
The biggest thing, you know, and I agree with Ashley, you know, we were always going to sail around the world and we were always going to make it. That wasn't the question. I think the biggest thing that's been surprising is the 2 kids coming on board, our 2 little stowaways, starting a YouTube business. You know, I didn't expect that. And basically, you know, looking forward to the next decade of raising our kids aboard the Nahoa 55. And the biggest thing is, you know, we would have never been able to do this without you guys watching on YouTube, and then
without our patrons.
And then our patrons. So thank you so much to all of you, however you contributed, however much you could contribute. It really wouldn't have been possible without that. So that's been probably the biggest surprise, and it's going to be really interesting how the future plays out. It's definitely going to be more sailing. There's going to be different parts of the world we're going to be exploring, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot going on right now. I guess that's what the crazy thing is too, right? We've got the new boat. It's still in design phase, trying to finalize that in the next month or so here. And then we gotta build the boat, which will take, we're not sure, you know, hopefully 18 months. But if you've watched any of the other YouTube channels, you know these things sometimes take longer than planned.
I don't know, there's a lot of people here. You know, we've been across 2 oceans where there just hasn't been that many people. There hasn't been any cruisers. There was one other cruiser in St. Helena, no one in Brazil, a handful in South Africa before that. You know, it's going to be busy here. There'll be a lot of cruisers out here, which is cool to interact again with people and socialize.
Do you remember how, Ben?
Nah, I might have forgotten how to socialize.
Check this out. I have never seen so many boats, so many sailboats in one spot in a long time. Check this out. So many boats on AIS. Well, now we know what base to anchor in. Anyway, I'm gonna go have a shower and chill for the last couple hours while we cruise around into St. George's in Grenada. Cheers to a circumnavigation. This is Grenada. Grenada. We're gonna be there like now. We're gonna have to slow this boat down.
I don't think we can zoom out far enough to show you where we sailed from, but there you go. Came up the coast of Brazil. Before that, we started in South Africa. We traced back. You can see our route up Madagascar, across the Indian, Sri Lanka,
Thailand,
down the Malacca Straits, through Indonesia, up Ambon,
Raja Ampat there.
Raja Ampat, a little detour in the Philippines, down Papua New
Where's
Guinea.
Palau?
Palau's like up here somewhere. That's Palau.
And where'd we go before that? We haven't finished yet.
South Pacific area. There's New Zealand down there. Hit that up.
Panama Canal.
Panama Canal. We just did it backwards. Here we are.
That's crazy. It's not a very big world, is it?
You should probably get some lines out. Get some flashlights. We gotta find a mooring ball here.
I think I might have heard the radio just now. I think people know we're coming.
Maybe. You should probably get a radio on.
All right.
So we've had this gentleman come out and help us in the dinghy. He's guiding us in. It's pretty cool.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I got 10 feet.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Super appreciated.
Yeah. What a welcoming committee.
Yeah, this would be really tough for you guys to try to do this on your own.
Yeah. Hello, flashlight lady.
You hate this? I love it. We did it! High five.
You look like a glowing star. Beer time.
Oh my gosh. What a night. What a beautiful night. What a beautiful passage. See, it's like having a baby. Forget all the hard stuff. It's just beautiful now. It's not that hard, people. You just go sail around the world.
and forget the tough passages.
Yeah. It's just like giving birth. That's why people have multiple children. It's hard, but you forget about it. And it's okay. And life goes on and it's beautiful.